I wanted to talk to you all about this extraterrestrial contact as well. But first, let's start with the prayer of Amun, authored by Panabab Yanun. Namuz Shagu Amun-Rayay, prayer of Amun-Rayay. Nuk Saduk bi Amun-Rayay. Wu Nabab, Mol Maruhu. I trust by way of Amun-Rayay and his master teachers. Wu Mariat Hu and his papari. Wu Manzal Hu Lipanan Zaman Wu Wadquat. Panabab Yanun and his warner for this day and time, the master Yanun. Kalel Hamadat Atheli Amun-Rayay Najar Shalal Prapatat Bu Pataha. All praises are for Amun-Rayay, overseer of the heaven and the earth. Anuki Nawapu. I am Nawapian. All right. Any more spiritual experiences?
Amun, I got one.
Very good.
I enjoy going out at 10:30. Me and my son, we seeing a lot of craft, and we seeing you moving stuff, and we seeing a lot of craft too, and been seeing Orion belts real clear. And
that's powerful because
yes, everything been looking beautiful at night. And we can see the sky and things moving, a lot of craft being in the sky. And we always, the last 2 nights, we seen Orion's belt, so I thought that was very powerful.
And it's important to mention, because whether you all know it or not, or memorize it, I am very faithful and true. And so every night until further notice, I am performing miracles in the skies at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time without fail. All right, and then you got to remember there will be a time when this will not be happening and I won't be here. And you may, believe it or not, you may miss things that you think are mundane and boring right now. About that extraterrestrial contact, I want to inform you all that it's happening right now. I know I told you 2027, it would reach a certain pitch, but what's happening is because I am the Messiah, I've been graced with contact from hybrid races now. And I did recognize Bashar when he came, right? I recognized Bashar without a doubt. For those that missed that class, I was in another dimension. And dimensions are not very easy to describe, but it's like you living in 3D now and we're transforming to 4D, but the 4th dimension is actually time, right? But what's strange about that, it could be confusing, is that when you shift from the 4th to the 5th dimension, you're talking about density levels, like density levels, but when you actually go ascend to the 5th dimension, that is considered the 5th dimension and not time. Only the 4th dimension is time, right? And another thing that people commonly misinterpret dimensions, like you raising up dimensions like somebody climbing stairs, one above another. But that's not what it is. Let me repeat. When you ascend dimensions, they're just layers of strata piled one above the next, woven together so uniquely you can't tell where one ends and the other begins. In other words, when you're going from 5 to 6D, if you're in the upper ranges of the 5th dimension and somebody else is in the lower subplanes of the 6th dimension, they're basically in the same place. All right, so let me see about these extraterrestrial visitations. I saw Bashar's ship. It had landed. It was a bright metallic silver, had long legs with oval-shaped pods, and the atmosphere there was foggy automatically because they do live in that kind of an atmosphere and what you call angelic beings. And he started walking towards me. I was laying down like on a pallet on the floor. against the wall, and he walked past me, and he went into a door over my head, a doorway over my head, and he disappeared. And I just laid there, and then he came back to the doorway, and he stopped in front of my face and reached his hand out to shake my hand, and I shook his hand, and he was dressed, he had a partial glove on, so the palm of his hand was out and his fingertips. You know, you see some people cut the fingers and thumb out of glove. Well, he had also cut the palm out, the back of the palm. So when I shook his hand, the palm of his hand was so warm, it was warmer than human hands. And he said to me, he asked me, he said, did you call me Akir? Akir is Arabic for the last. It also is interchangeable with the word lion. But it really means the last, like the last elder. Did you call me Akir? And for some reason I said, and I don't want you all to be like this, but I said, I didn't call nobody. And he just turned around and went back to his craft, and that was it. But I want to emphasize that Daryl Anker, the white guy that's the channel for Bashar, he is one with him. And Bashar is the ancestor of his. Rather, Daryl is the ancestor of Bashar. So they have a blood link and a definite spiritual connection. Daryl always asked Bashar to come to him so he could talk to him one-on-one. And Bashar kept explaining to him he couldn't do that. Daryl, of course, inquisitive, asked why not. He said, because we vibrate on such a fast frequency. By that, I mean that they vibrate 10 times faster than you and I, than people here on Earth. 10 times faster. That means that when you look at it in a linear sense, they're 3,000 years in advance of you all here. 3,000 years, which sounds like a lot until you realize that the Nagaru are 100,000 years advanced over the people here. All right? Anyway, Bashar finally relented and started trying to approach Daryl in the spirit realm. And when he got out the craft and started walking toward him, Daryl automatically started having a sense of losing himself. He was so overwhelmed with the presence of Bashar that he started being confused as to whether he was Bashar or not. And when Bashar took a couple of more steps toward him, within 25 feet, Daryl Ankh started feeling like he was dying. He was. He was dying. He was losing his life. And so Bashar stepped back and he told me, you see, that's why we don't do it. You see, that's it. But I want to emphasize to you all star movers that he walked up to me and shook my hand. And I was very comfortable, just like I am now. So, of course, they're going to come to me before they do any of you all with their first contact. And then what I was saying in the spirit after Bashar left is that, I'm sorry, I talked to him so rude-like, and I don't know where that response came from. So they sent 2 more beings here. I don't know who it was, but when I woke up, they were standing in front of me. And my first reaction was I picked up my right arm and finger and I pointed at the one standing in front. And I said, and you, and they both disappeared, light beings. So I was upset with somebody that was of one of those 2 beings. But they didn't stop there. They came back again. One night I was asleep and I was transformed to another dimension. And I saw over the roof of the new aluminum roof on my store, there was nebula, beautiful colored nebula. The predominant color was blue, stars and what have you. And I heard a car engine up in the sky. I know it sounds crazy, but then it fell back Then it's like it drove up again, and I can see the headlights. And then it pointed down, and the car went down into the roof of my store. And I know that Brother Hotep was here, and there was another tall, light-skinned guy. I don't know who, but he's always around me at times like that when I have visitations. So I gave everybody in here shotguns and pistols, and we went to the windows to see. Now, I was apprehensive because I really didn't know what was going on or who that was. And then pretty soon they walked out the front door of the store onto the porch through the locked doors and the iron bars. And they crossed the parking lot and they came up on the porch and they were outside the bars, and it was about 4 of them. It was men and women. They looked like kind of short, stocky white people with plaid jackets on, like black and orange, like old hunters wear or something like that. And they just looked like middle-aged, heavy-set white people. And I opened the door, and the guns were gone. And they were standing in the living room, and I was talking to Hotep and the light-skinned tall brother, and I said, watch when I ask them questions. Watch what I ask them. And I went to the door and I asked them kind of sharp, like, y'all drove a car through the ceiling through the roof of the store. Now, how did you walk out the store and the doors were locked? Like I had got them stuck in some kind of way, right? And they didn't answer. They just looked at back and forth at each other, looked at me like, is this nigga crazy? And I was wondering, how did y'all get here? Instead of me just saying, look, I'm confused about how you all got here, who you are, and what your reason for the visit is. I didn't say anything like that. So when I was talking like that, another car pulled up in the parking lot. And it was 2 of them in there. One was driving, one was sitting next to him. And all these 4 got out and piled into the car. The car was packed tight with them, and they drove off. But the thing you got to understand is that they're trying to contact me, and when they do, all our lives are going to change, because you all know me, and you know my spirit and my soul. And just like, and I'm not trying to be disruptive, but Partner Bad, when I was up with him, and I was excited about being taken up by them, I said, I can't wait to get back so I can tell you all about it. And he looked at me very sharp and said, don't tell those mortals anything. And now he told me he called me up on the phone in the physical daylight from Colorado and said, don't forget that you and I have to finish raising the 144,000. And I was thinking to myself, like in the Bible, they're saying women can't speak in your church, you can't do that, but other sections of the Bible said there were women that were prophetess. You know, and I was thinking, now how do you raise 144,000 people and you don't tell them nothing? And I thought to myself, that's just not. So I started telling you all practically everything that I experienced. And you know, when this full contact, because I am praying that they overstand and come back again, and that my mood changes, and I'm a lot more receptive. And I don't want to blame it on anybody and point fingers, but one of the reasons I got so negative in the spiritual realm is because every time I went up with those Neteru, Netiru, or Anunnaki, whoever they are, they were black, they would always end up by walking by me saying, we'll kill you, you know. You want to die? We'll kill you, you know. And that planted a very negative seed in my mind. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably would think, well, if it was me, it wouldn't plant on, but when people threaten your life, it's going to affect you in a negative way. It is. So, and I don't know what the meaning or the purpose of that was, or unless they were saying, because we know you, and you're going to be telling these mortal human niggas, and they fallen angels, and we want them to stay down there or something. And I was reading about that in the Lost Book of Enki to you all, where that some of the Anunnaki took you all to Nibiru, and it was about a banquet that Anu was getting ready to have, where that you all were going to eat and drink with the Anunnaki, and some of the Anunnaki stepped in and said, no, send them back to Earth so they can die with the others. Because they knew that if you ate their food and drank their liquids, that you too would become immortal instantly. I've shared food with them before. I know you become instantly immortal. And they knew that, so they didn't want that to happen. So I know it's a confusing statement for him to say, don't forget you and I have to finish raising 144,000. But my question is, do they really want y'all raised? And why are they threatening to kill me? Is that what I'm doing that's wrong to them? But I'll leave that for you to figure out. But I don't think I wouldn't be doing it if I thought it was wrong. And if I am, I apologize. I really don't mean to be wrong. I'm not trying to be wrong.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
I got a question because if the source chose you to be the Messiah, they can't say nothing to the source about your mission. So that would be just like, the only thing I got out of that, they would have to be just, the disagreeables.
Or want to be the only ones like Big Willie or something. Or either they just want to be the only ones that know the secrets or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. What is the matter with them? I think you think the Anunnaki are disagreeable? That's what it is, son?
Yeah, I don't think them was Natharu. I think they Anunnaki
can be
black too.
That's
maybe
like
in the first book. First page.
But I can't tell the
dimension of shift.
Yeah, I just can't tell the difference between Anunnaki and Natharu by appearance. Even though I'm going to say something to you all now that'll really be confusing and bake your noodle. What you used to call Anunnaki, that, for example, guided Moses to the Red Sea in a cigar-shaped cylinder craft that he called a star, they don't exist anymore in that form. They don't exist anymore in that form. They have also transcended, and they become now what you might make reference to as the Pleiadians. Now, don't ask me how this is happening, but
that makes sense.
Well, I don't know how. Tell me how. That's what's happening.
When Moses was talking to the bush, it appeared as El Shadi. El Shadi is translated as mighty, but really Shad means demon.
It does. Shad means demon, right? I follow you.
A Pleiadian being a demon. That makes sense to me.
They all know why they had to be turned white in order to be demons, because there's black devils. We know that. And for people that hear that about the burning bush, people that hear about the burning bush, I want to clarify that bush was not on fire, but it was the angel Gabriel that was standing by the bush, and his countenance shone so bright that it illuminated the bush, and it appeared as if it was on fire or burning, right? Go ahead, sister.
No, I was just going to say, as far as in reference to what he was saying, I just think it's just like, just like you said, but I'm just thinking about it in my head, like, how we go through the cycles from 9 ether to 6 ether or ghost state. Maybe it's in that same cycle.
Okay, that makes sense to me. I line it up like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that lines up.
Yeah.
But whatever the case is, well, you see, then that would mean, because I have had visitations from Pleiadians, and I was negative toward them because I know we've been through a lot here on Earth, and it makes our psyche complex, right? For example, at my age, and I'm a black man, and I was born in New Orleans. It's like another part of the world, but it's still the South. So when I was a child, we used to have to ride on the back of the bus, have colored fountains, all black schools, all these things. So, you know, I was around when they were still lynching people and this, that, and the other. So a lot of younger blacks, they've kind of blended in, and they don't know. They think society is open right to them. But to those of us that's older, Best knows what I'm talking about. We remember when white people were nothing but the damn devil, period, right? And towards black people. And what was the name of that town they did on that? And Rosewood. Anybody remember Rosewood and counties like that and towns that blacks had built? White people came in there jealous of you all's success and burned it down and killed everybody and lynched everybody, children and women alike. You know, and
Black Wall Street, same thing.
Yeah, Black Wall Street. They left a bad taste in my mouth. You know what I mean? So for that, I apologize, because I know that these beings were not the ones that did that, but just coming in that white skin is offensive to me. Now I know it's something I have to overcome, and I have to at least give them the opportunity to explain who they are and why they're here. You know what I mean? I have to do that. Not just for me, but I have to do it for you all. Because
I got a question.
Let me say this. When Bashar makes, let me say this. Well, we can talk.
Okay.
Yeah. Bashar makes contact with me, full contact with me. That opens up not just his species of hybrids, but it opens up thousands of extraterrestrial beings. And the Intergalactic Confederation is the keys to a lot of civilizations with a lot of information. And you know who I am. You know I will impart anything significant and valuable to you all, to raise you all up. I'm not here to leave you behind. I'm not here to perform miracles and show y'all how advanced we are and what we can do and I'm immortal and all. I'm not here for that. What I'm really here for is for you for real. I really feel a deep obligation to you all that I raise you all up and remove the fears of death and all these things from you. I know that there exists energy sources in ley lines that's free energy, that you don't need fossil fuels and all that. I know that freedom from this information would break the yoke that the white people have over you, the control they have over you, the monetary systems. I know that all these things are obsolete, and that in other worlds, for example, a monetary exchange is not that. It's the value of people. Because in every society, every man, woman, and child was born and gifted with certain abilities. You know, and I don't care if you're the barber or the computer tech or the linguist or the dance instructor or architect and a builder or whatever it is you do, there's a certain numerical value placed on that skill that you contribute to society each and every day. And they have large warehouses, you can call it supermarkets or malls or whatever you want, but you go into these buildings and everything that's available in society, you just go in there and you show them who you are and you just get whatever you want and you leave without money because you earn the privilege of that. Do you understand? And that means that people that do the most important jobs, of course, they'll have a higher living standard. They'll live in the best apartments and buildings and have the best modes of transportation. But in higher societies, nobody is left behind. The brother or the sister that's a complete bum and don't want to do nothing at all, they don't have to be homeless or go without, but they just don't live on the level of others that are really contributing to the upward mobility of that society. You follow what I mean? Right. So, I don't know. It's a lot of rich white people here that think that because they was born with a silver spoon, they privileged and they better than everybody and nobody, you know, they should just they call them piles of garbage and all this, and they just got an ugly attitude about people, and every one of you is valuable because there is no big or small in the eye of all. And the fact that you exist and you are here means that you were supposed to be. And even if one of you all was missing, it wouldn't be the all anymore. So how valuable are you as a part of all if without you, there would be no all? You understand?
Pretty valuable.
Yeah. But there are beings that don't want to look at it like that. They just don't want to, and they get mad and they hate people, and they want to get rid of people that they think are insignificant, or they call it useless eaters. Like when people reach a certain age and they can't contribute to society and ways like work, jobs, and this, that, and the other, and they have a lot of medical complaints and this, that, and the other, and they still eating and have to have a roof over their head. They call that useless eaters. And they want to just throw them away. After they want to use you up and throw you away. And I don't view society like that. And I say to anybody that's young and got that attitude, I'm going to tell you what a man named Tommy Gillespie told me. I know I was about 15 years old. He had his 40th birthday. And I told Tommy, I said, "You getting old, Tommy." And he looked at me real serious like, and he said, "I say, what you do, young man? Keep on living. Just keep living." And now I wish I was goddamn 40. You understand? You understand? But, you know, just keep living there, and we'll see about that attitude you got right there, little doo-doo pants. We'll see. Because time is passing right now, and it ain't gonna stop. In fact, it's speeding up. So you're gonna be old in just a minute, if you're blessed. All right, now, I'm sorry, sister, you were trying to say to us.
Oh, I was just gonna say this. When you were saying all that, it took me back to what you always tell us, and maybe, you know, you'll remember this, but you always ask us if something comes to us and we're not sure about what it is.
Do you mean me any harm? My greater good.
Yes. Well, yes. Are you here for my greater good? If not, be gone.
And I have to remember, and I should have remembered my own advice. So when I see them white ladies or whatever, and them hybrids, I shouldn't be dismissing them out of hand, all rough like that. But I hope they got all this intellect and all this advanced wisdom and all this. I hope they wise enough to understand what I was exposed to as a young black man in America. You understand? Just look at it and have patience with me, right? When you come at me like a white man, I got a certain knee-jerk reaction. You understand what I mean? Just like anybody that's over 50 and somebody in your house, your wife or your children say, "There's some white people at the door with briefcases on, blue eyes, they looking for you," your heart gonna start beating. Whether you're a man or a woman, because you know, white people don't want me unless they don't want me for nothing no goddamn good. At the very least, they want money or something. You know, coming to my door for what? You don't even want to go to the door because you know it ain't going to be nothing good when white people come. And that's the way I feel. You know, just stronger than you do about it. You understand? But bless your heart, if you were born free of that stigmatism, I feel good for you, but don't get too brave and stupid where you forget that is the devil. I hear a lot of young people, you know, when they was talking, they see documentaries about slavery and different things, and they you know, walk around their pants dragging, talking about, shit, if I was back then and they told me, I wouldn't pick no damn cotton, I want to say, shut your young black ass up, nigga. You did just like every fucking body else got in line and been picking your ass off. Just shut up. It was a different system in a different world. You're coming here like you so bad you walk past the master's house and his lawn gonna goddamn die. The whole system was designed against you to hold you down and suppress you. The law was nothing on your side. You didn't have nobody to take up for you. And I'm not saying you didn't have a mouth and you couldn't have told him. I'm not picking them, but I'm telling you wouldn't say it but once. You wouldn't say it but once. So as far as all that, I'm a lion and I'm this, that, and the other, and I wouldn't tell you like these sorry ass niggas. I ain't going to. Nigga, shut up that bullshit and stop that goddamn lying to yourself. If you'd have been back then, you'd have got lying. So you don't think there was no bad niggas back then? There was some bad niggas back then, better than the ones now. And I ain't just talking about raising hell. I mean, there was some real niggas, some real African Zulus and things back there. Some niggas that'll kill a brick. Yeah. And a lot of them tried to run and all, they got their foot cut off and got castrated and all that. Or wouldn't work or try to be a leader or speak up or speak their own language or try to be a man in some way. And the shit didn't work. All right. Who else has a spiritual experience or that next statement they want to make?
I got a question.
I'll do my best. Go ahead, Bess.
Okay, you said that David wants you telling the martyrs on this earth down here. Who were they?
Malachi was the first one that said that to me. He's the only one that ever said that to me in those words. I was standing in front of him. We were on a craft, and I was telling him how excited I was going to be to get back here. I couldn't wait to tell y'all how I was taken up and how real it is, all of that. And he stopped me and said, looked me right in my eyes and said, don't tell those mortals nothing, anything.
Well, why would he want to say that?
That's what he said. Look, I don't know. It didn't set right with me either, but I'm telling you, that's what he said. Now, a whole lot of fantasy-ass niggas be talking about, oh, well, yeah, Pound of Baby, I knew wouldn't say that, no. Go sit your diaper-wearing ass down, nigga, and be glad you got somebody in your presence that know how to tell you what's really happening. Now, as far as trying to go into the man's mind, or being the angel, or whatever you want into his mind and tell you why he said it, I would just be making up something. I don't know why. I just know it didn't set right with me.
That don't set right with me either.
Moon.
Yes.
Does that mean that Yanun is basically, it's kind of like he's playing both sides?
I don't know how to interpret it. I know one time he was on the phone with me, he called me from Colorado, and we were talking and different things, and he sensed that because I was handling all of his legal and media and all that, and he said to me, don't forget, there's no such thing as right and wrong. Now, my senses revolted at that, brother, because I was thinking, I raised up and vibrated. I say, well, he's meaning like on a level of where he's at. There's no right and wrong, because in heaven there ain't no wrong, it's just right. But I was thinking, now on earth, down here, you know, if you do something like touch little boys and girls wrong, now you're trying to say that they don't really have physical bodies, so that's an illusion, so that you can't hurt them because they don't really physically exist. And I was thinking to myself, no, that won't do either, because, you know, you can scar people emotionally. You know what I mean? You mess their mind up doing that kind of shit. You understand what I mean? So I just couldn't.
We all won.
Yeah, I just couldn't. Some things I was thinking to myself when I'm walking by myself. He's saying things to me that I just don't understand yet, and that I try to hold out that he might be right, but until I see it's right, I can't go with it. You understand what I'm saying, brother? To address what you just said, I don't know whether he's right or wrong. I just know what's right or wrong to me, just like you. That's as far as you can take it.
That doesn't sound right at all. No.
That's what not to me either. Now just say I'm a human being or whatever you want to call me. But I'm one of them. But that don't sound right to me. It just don't sound right to me. Huh?
Yeah, I guess he meant that it is wrong, but in some people's eyes, they see things differently. It's going to be
What kind of people? White people? White people ain't got no soul. Everything's all right with them as long as they're doing it to somebody else.
Yeah, that's what I
Every
mean.
devil thinks evil is fair seeming. Every devil evil is fair seeming. The only reason evil is evil is because of this, that, and the other. The only reason the devil is evil is because he's a goddamn devil.
Yeah.
And I know if you start doing the same thing to them, they'll holler like a pig stuck under a gate. I don't like nobody. See, my motto is this. Don't take nobody no place you don't want to go.
Exactly.
Don't be doing nothing to people that you don't want done to yourself. The Most High say, do unto others as you would they would do unto you.
Amen. I agree.
That's it.
Period.
Now, if you don't want to take it up the butt, then don't try to impose that shit on nobody. Get back.
Right.
I think you're wrong because I see they got birds out there and dogs and cats and lions and bears. And you mean a bird brain, they ain't confused about what a minute, but you trying to say you a whole human being, you don't know what go where? And you gonna tell me because you big and grown, they little boys and girls, you gonna put that on them like that? And you think that's right?
That's not right.
That don't sound right at all.
It don't sound right, and not to brother Amun. And until I grow better and know better, it ain't gonna be right to me.
That's right.
It ain't gonna be right. That's right.
Well, I understand. All I can say is I'm with y'all. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. So I can move all the individuals I want. I still see things a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? And I'm not particularly following nobody talking about we'll kill you, you know. And the first one to say that to me up there was Malachi York, Father Babiano. He said it to me more than once. We'll kill you, you know. I don't know what his reason is. Like I say, I don't know why he said don't tell us more. I don't know why he do a lot of things he do and why he don't do a lot of things he should be doing, in my estimation. I think he ought to be working with me to hurry up and get y'all where you need to be. That's just what I think. But let me try to give you. I want to share with you youngsters something here that was written by a guy named William Lynch. And you can look this up, the Willie Lynch papers, right? And the message is still true. It's called The Making of a Slave. Gentlemen, I greet you here on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord, 1712. That was 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I'm here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. As our boat sails south on the James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible, yes, right, whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its old highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasion. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops are losing valuable or sometimes left in the field so long, too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I'm not here to enumerate your problems. I'm here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method of controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 100 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves and take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies and will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On top of my list is age. Age, but it is there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There's intelligence, size, sex, size of the plantations, status on plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on the hill, east, west, north, or south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I should give you an outline of action, but before that, I shall assure you that the distrust is stronger than trust. Right? The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male. And there's still in some young niggas now, bucking against their elders. They've been beat until they don't even know it, but it's the slave master beat that into their young dumb ass. And the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves. And don't tell me y'all haven't felt that shit in your own families. And the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. It is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. And you got these old niggas, man, white people, it's better but me than a whole lot of black, you know, right, man, them white people gonna get you.
That's right.
Motherfucking niggas, they'd be stumped in a toilet, set on fire, and kicked down into a ditch and shot until there ain't no more bullets left. Okay, gentlemen, these these kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful, you know, of each other, right? Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, the speech was delivered by a white slave owner, William Lynch, on the bank of the James River.
In 1712.
Yeah.
He was just teaching about mind control. Which
he was.
now.
It was the interest and business of slaveholders to study human nature, and the slave nature in particular, with a view to practical results, and many of them attained astonishing proficiency in this direction. They had to deal with earth, wood, stone, but with men, and by every regard they had for their own safety and prosperity, they had need to know the material on which they were to work. Conscious of it just, okay, let's make a slave. Okay, let me I haven't even got to them. I want y'all to have patience
experimenting with psyops. Sounds like they were just experimenting with psyops with us, psychological warfare with us.
Yeah, but psyops, you can apply that. They apply that to every race of people. This is something they were doing to target you, young man. Okay. The origin development of a social being called the Negro. let us make a slave. What do we need? First of all, we need a black nigger man, a pregnant nigger woman, and her nigger baby boy. Second, we will use the same basic principle that we use in breaking a horse, combined with some more sustaining factors. What we do with horses is that we break them from one form of life to another. That is, we reduce them from their natural state and nature, whereas nature provides them with the natural capacity to take care of their needs and the needs of their offsprings. We break that natural string of independence from them and thereby create a dependency state so that we may be able to get from them useful production for our business and pleasure. Cardinal principles for making a Negro. 1. Okay, for fear that our future generations may not understand the principles of breaking both horses and nigger men, we lay down the art. For if we are to sustain our basic economy, we must break and tie both the beasts together, the nigger and the horse. We understand that short-range planning and economics result in periodic economic chaos, so that to avoid turmoil in economy, it requires us to have breadth and depth in long-range comprehensive planning, articulating both skill and sharp perception. We laid out the following principles for long-range comprehensive economic planning. 1. Both horse and nigger are no good to the economy in the wild or natural state. 2. Both must be broken. Both must be broken and tied together for orderly production. 3. For orderly futures, special and particular attention must be paid to the female and the young offspring. 4. Both must be crossbred to produce a variety and division of labor. 5. Both must be taught to respond to a particular new language. 6. Psychological and physical instruction of containment must be created for both. We hold the above 6 cardinal principles as truths to be self-evident based on the following discourse concerning the economics of breaking and tying the horse and the nigger together, all inclusive of the 6 principles laid above. Note, neither principles alone will suffice for good economics. All principles must be employed for orderly good of the nation. Accordingly, both a wild horse and a wild or natural nigger is dangerous, even if captured, for they will have the tendency to seek their customary freedom, and in so doing, might kill you in your sleep. You cannot rest. They sleep while you are awake, and are awake while you are asleep. They are dangerous near the family house, and it requires too much labor to watch them away from the house. Above all, you cannot get them to work in this natural state. Hence, both the horse and the nigger must be broken. That is, break them from one form of mental life to another. Keep and take the mind. They got it too. In other words, break the will to resist. Now the breaking process is the same for both the horse and the nigger, only slightly varying in degrees. But as we said before, there's an art in long-range economic planning. You must keep your eye and thoughts on the female and the offspring of the horse and the nigger. A brief discourse in offspring development will shed light on the key to sound economic principles. And my mind is telling me, my higher mind is saying, I'm not here to judge, people that prefer same gender relationships and this, that, and the other. And I shouldn't think that way. You know, I guess everybody is entitled to their own, something. But it's just, I'll just say this, it's confusing to me at best, that's all. Pay little attention to the generation of original breaking, but concentrate on future generations. They keep talking about they want us to go into the future. Therefore, if you break the female mother, she will break the offspring in its early years of development. When the offspring is old enough to work, she will deliver it up to you. For her normal female protective tendencies will have been lost in the original breaking process. For example, take the case of the wild stud horse. A female horse and an already infant horse, and compare the breaking process with two captured nigger males in their natural state. A pregnant nigger woman with her infant offspring take the stud horse, break him for limited containment, completely break the female horse until she becomes very gentle, whereas you or anybody can ride her in comfort. Breed the mare, and the stud until you have the desired offspring. Then you can turn the stud to freedom until you need him again. Train the female horse whereby she will eat out of your hand, and then she will in turn train the infant horse to eat out of your hand also. When it comes to breaking the uncivilized nigger, use the same process, but vary the degree, set up the pressure so as to do a complete reversal of the mind. Take the meanest and most restless nigger, strip him of his clothes, and fell the remaining male niggers, the female and the nigger infant. Tar and feather him, tie each leg to a different horse, faced in opposite directions, set him on fire, and beat both horses to pull him apart in front of the remaining niggers. The next step is to take a bull whip and beat the remaining nigger males to the point of death in front of the females and infants. Don't kill them, but put the fear of God in him, for he can be useful for future breeding. Breaking process of the African woman. Then take the female, run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desires willingly. Test her in every way because she is the most important factor. What happened with what? What happened with what? Is everybody here for two? Okay. Test her in every way because she is the most important factor of good economics. If she shows any sign of resistance and submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use the bull whip on her to extract that last bit of bitch out of her. Take care not to kill her, for in doing so, you spoil good economics. Please mute your phone. When in complete submission, she will train her offspring in the early years to submit to labor when they become of age. Understanding is the best thing. Therefore, we should go deeper into this area of the subject matter concerning what we have produced here in the breaking process of the female nigger. We must have reversed the relationships. In her natural uncivilized state, she would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized nigger male, and she would have a limited protective tendency towards her independent male offspring, and would raise the female offspring to be dependent like her. Nature had provided for this type of balance. We reverse nature by burning and pulling one civilized nigger apart and bull whooping the other to the point of death, all in her presence while she watches. By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from a psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state. In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reverse roles. For fear of the young male's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong. To do the work, you know.
Roll back, Messiah.
Yeah, Robert. Because she has become psychologically independent, she will train her female offspring to be psychologically independent. What have you got? You've got the nigger woman out front and the nigger man behind and scared. This is a perfect situation for sound sleep for us and economics. Before the breaking process, we had to be alert, on guard at all times. Now we can sleep soundly, for out of frozen fear, this woman stands guard for us. He cannot get past her early infant slave molding process. He is a good nigger, a good tool, and not ready to be tied to the horse at a tender age. By the time a nigger boy reaches the age of 16, he's soundly broken in and ready for a long life of sound, efficient work and the reproduction of a unit of good labor force. Continually through the breaking of uncivilized savage niggers by throwing the Negro female nigger savage into a frozen psychological state of independence, by killing the protective male image, and by creating a submissive, dependent mind of the nigger male savage, we have created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever. You know, because sisters ain't gonna respect brothers. Another practice they had, when they got a load of slaves in, they would pick out the leader, a strong Zulu warrior, and have like 6 big boys, the biggest slaves, strip him and throw him down on the ground face first, pound big stakes on his hands and feet, and then then the white man, old Pink Pinker, would go up behind him and rape this big buck nigga in front of all the women and children and all the young men over and over again till his ass is bleeding, you know, and then let him up, and then everybody lost respect for the nigga. You understand? That was for them niggas. I ain't gonna do shit. You know, the chest out Charlie niggas, they put that little pink monkey dick in your ass. You know.
That is so disgusting. I mean, and that's so inhumane.
That's the white man. I understand. But they had something for you if you got mad, and they wouldn't stop at a bull whoop either. Okay. Because they had the females where they could mount them. Anybody can mount them. Anybody can fuck them. Just anybody. That's it. Just when they look at them, their panties just drop. That's it. Okay. Before the breaking process, okay, let me see. Continuing through the breaking of uncivilized stuff, okay, the Negro marriage unit. Oh, shit. We breed 2 nigger males and 2 nigger females. Then we take the nigger males away from them and keep them moving and working. Say the one nigger female bears a nigger female and the other bears a nigger male. Both nigger females, being without influence of the nigger male image, frozen with an independent psychology, will raise their offspring. Will raise their offspring in reverse positions. The one with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself, independent and negotiable. We negotiate with her, through her, by her, and negotiate her at will. The one with the nigger male offspring, she being frozen with the subconscious fear for his life, will raise him to be mentally dependent and weak, but physically strong. In other words, body over mind. Now, in a few years, when these two offsprings become fertile for early reproduction, we will mate and breed them and continue the cycle. That is good, sound, and long-range comprehensive planning. All right, Walter, you have something to say? Walter, are you here? All right. My young male brother.
That just didn't apply to the plantation as well.
Say it again.
I said that just didn't, what you just said, just didn't only apply to the plantation. It was even after, like today, where the darker skin, everyone seems to like.
That's right, but they were all, the psychology in that was that they were all slaves.
And that's what they.
See, like if the slave master had if the slave master had a daughter by an African woman, and it was a mulatto child, she was a slave that was bought and sold just like all the rest of them. And he didn't think because she was an animal, because she was considered an animal, he would mount her and have sex with her and produce more children with his own daughter.
Well, that's how they see the darker skin today.
Well, they see the lighter skin the same way. They just look. I'm gonna tell you. Let me explain to you what white people see when they see light. What white people see when they see light-skinned Negroes is they see an example of white dominance. All they look at you as and think of you as a cum-shot peckerwood. They know that they done mounted and overpowered some Negro female or male, mentally or physically or both, and it resulted in their image and likeness being binded on the Negro race. That's what it is. They look at it like they conquered something. That's what light-skinned people look like to them, like some sign of victory for white people and a loss for the humanity. Yeah. But they don't think of light-skinned people as people. They just light-skinned nigger slaves. That's it. And they treated them the same way. They whooped them, fucked them, and they whooped them, fucked them, and threw them in a goddamn hole when they died. That was it. No respect, no freedom, no papers, no nothing. Just a nigger.
I think it's disgusting the way they treat the darker skin, because at the end of the day, you know.
I understand, but they let me say. You talking about the difference between a house slave and a field slave, and a lot of house slaves were black. It just depends on who was most compliant. But the reason why they bred mulatto slaves in the beginning is because when they brought black people to this country, they had a fiery spirit. They were independent. They were kings and queens with their own kingdom and their own education, their own God and language, their own way of life. So that when the white man went out in the field to tell them to go to work and do all kinds of things, for a woman to lay down and let him cover, or male to lay down and let him cover or something, they would kill that peckerwood, because the white man was strange to them. They wasn't used to his image. So he started raping the African women and giving birth to mulattoes, and he raised them up in the house and tricked them into thinking that they was better than the rest of the blacks, and sent them out there to tell the blacks what to do. And that confused the slaves, because they could see their image obviously in the mulatto, but they loved their own image and respected it, and their love for their image was stronger than their hatred for the devil that they saw. That was all. They just used them to control the rest of the slaves. But the rest of the slaves were slaves, and they were bought and sold like everybody else. Go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt, but they're messing. Wait
a minute, one at a time now.
Line is not working.
267.
I don't mean to interrupt, but the line 267. Yeah, 267 is being played with right now. Every time you try to speak,
like a robot.
Yeah, I got to restart the call. That's been going on for like the last 5 minutes. I don't mean to interrupt, but I just want to let you know that.
I thought, yeah. Well, I need somebody else to call in 267, another person. That's the line.
I'm in there, Amun. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, I know, but the one that's controlling that line is Delonte in D.C. Delonte, you here, right? Yeah, that's Delonte's line. 267, right. You know. And, but you were speaking about light-skinned people. There you go. Right?
Yeah.
Now you see what happens. Let me. We don't talk. They don't even try to talk over me. Let's not do that. Okay. So what you get the light-skinned people, the light-skinned blacks, they get an attitude because they think they're superior to the full human natural African because they got the image of the beast buys it on them. But in reality, the reason they had them as house niggas is because they were light skinned, they were too weak to be in the sunlight like white people, and they couldn't do the workload because they had weaker genetics and they were inferior as people. They were weak. And the thing you have to understand about genetics, every time that you crossbreed somebody, you weaken the genes, mentally and physically. They become less intelligent and less physically capable. Every time that you mix the genes, you weaken them. They're stronger when they're natural and whole. You hear me? So there's no pride in that.
I agree with that.
But I don't think it's no light person's fault. They light skin because they didn't have no control over that. You understand? And I know that there are people, whether they've been programmed to think that they're a separate species. My family is Creole people out of New Orleans. And most of my people have straight hair and blue eyes. I'm telling you that. They do. And they call people, and because I'm darker, my own brothers used to call me Blackie. That's right. And they call you smart and sunshine and day and all kind of things. But the truth of the matter is, in private, just me and my blue-eyed brother, he would say to me, I'm going to tell you the truth, I wish I had your color. I wish I had your color. And I know he did with his shit-colored ass. I know for real, because look, white people are convincing you that they're pretty and handsome. And they are leprous and ugly.
Yeah.
Don't you know, when you were a child, they were showing you cartoons, they tried to make you think that shit was funny and fluffy and friendly. But what you was looking at is people mixed with animals. Bugs Bunny and Yogi Bear is an animal with people mixed in it. That's bestiality. That's a horrible thing and a curse in the face of God. And when you're looking at people to lesser degrees, that's animal inside of people. When they're not completely black, the only thing you can be mixed with on the planet is monkeys and animals. It ain't no, I mean, you know, you can't blame nobody for how that happened. But for them to take that there and look down on the solid, natural whole thing and make out that that's less, that's insane too. You got me?
Yeah.
So I try to
sometimes
think.
It doesn't.
Go ahead.
Okay, sometimes it doesn't work out like that. Sometimes the lighter skin is not as passive as sometimes it's a darker skin. It can go the opposite way. There's too much.
That's true too. And I think that's wrong as well.
Some light skin are really stronger than the darker.
But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what happened. It's all that confusion is due to animals laying with people by force. You understand that? That's them spreading the curse of leprosy and all that goes with it. And unfortunately, a lot of times, those people have flickering genes. I'm not going to lie, the people in my family, them motherfuckers is crazy. They crazy. And I can say it a lot of ways, but I'm going to just tell you, them niggas is fucking crazy. They so mixed up, they fucking crazy. And the devil, and they full of the goddamn devil. They full of the devil. And I'm not saying there ain't no black-ass devil, because the black one is the worst devil of all. But I'm telling you right now, that racial mixing, it don't help nobody except the devil, Satan. It ain't no good for the host or for the people around them. But I love them all because I understand they all my people. Until they start looking down on me, and then they gonna make me tell them the truth, and I don't want to break their heart. They can believe a lot of bullshit if they want to, but I am the Messiah, and I'll break that negative program and get that bullshit out their mind. And don't think I can't do it. All right, now, but like I say, I love all of my people, without exception. And I just hope they love us too. All right. Warning. Possible interloping negatives. Earlier, we talked about the non-economic good of the horse and the nigger in their wild or natural state. We talked out the principle of breaking and tying them together for orderly production. Furthermore, we talked about paying particular attention to the female savage and her offspring for orderly future planning. Then more recently, we stated that by reversing the positions of the male and the female savages, we had created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever, unless phenomenon occurred and reshifted the positions of the male and the female savages. In other words, they broke the black woman to where she would eat out the white man's hand and let anybody just lay her down and take her. And they destroyed the black male image in front of her face. And when she saw what the white man would do to a strong black man, when she had a child, she had a boy and a girl, she would teach the girl to be independent and flip and fly. And they had things like the only two people that's free in the South was the white man and the black woman. They put that bullshit out there, but the black woman was a slave like any other black nigga slave. Like I'm trying to tell these light-skinned fucking clowns. They was a goddamn slave. Bought and sold on paper like an animal. And now the boy, when the boy babies was born, the mother, to protect the boy, taught him to be a sissy-ass, punk-ass, weak motherfucker. So he wouldn't stand up in front of the white man with his chest stuck, because she already saw what he didn't know. That the white man or cave anybody's chest in and try to stand up and be a man. So she taught him to be bitch-like and taught her daughter to be more independent. But the white man valued her for reproduction. He looked at her like more niggas. And the boy, he looked at him like he was a mare, and he's making all the rest of the horses think to be wild and free, so we got to knock the chest out of him. Right? Okay. Our experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring. Well, they said that the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time if it can touch some substantial original historic base. And they advised us that the best way to deal with this phenomenon is to shave off the brute's mental history and create a multiplicity of phenomenon of illusions, so that each illusion will twirl on its own axis, something similar to floating balls in a vacuum. Them Peccables was thinking hard about this shit. Yeah, they was horrible.
Well,
but the point I'm trying to make is when I see white Pleiadians coming, that thought is residual in me. When I see that white skin, I'm thinking right away, here come this motherfucker. You understand what I mean? Yeah. Hey, what the fuck you want? You son of a bitch? You know what I mean? Right. I know what you think about me and my people. You think you better, don't you? You motherfucker. You ain't shit. All right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Of course.
Yes, I'll do my best.
Okay. I wonder, though, could this be vice versa?
Could it be what now?
Vice versa. Like what you just read to us about what they did to us black people, that breaking us down. Could that
Well, white people were the first slaves. They were the first slaves. Black owned whites as slaves first.
Okay.
And that was wrong. Even though they're animals.
But did they do them like they doing us?
No, they're not cruel. It's not a black person's nature to be cruel like that.
That's what but it's but to them they nature to be cruel, right?
It's their nature. Let me say this to you, sister. You know a cat, you know what a cat is, you know what a dog is. They both have a nature. And their nature is, when they meet each other on the street, what automatically happens?
If they started one, that ain't gonna be a fight.
That's right. So that when you breed and you put a cat and a dog in the same body, you think that goddamn thing ain't hot?
That's right.
It's evil. It's evil and crazy. And it can't even run.
That's right.
It can't get away from each other. It's stuck in the same body. Both natures, the white devil and the black, stuck in the same body. It's confused at best.
That's right.
It's got flickering genes that don't know what to do.
Okay.
It's got its feet on the brake and the gas at the same time. It's half crazy. But that can't be straightened out. There's a formula that we have been sent with to make 97 corrections to straighten out the black, the light, the round, the fat, the male, the female, and everybody else. We can get all y'all to raise up back into gods again. First off, you have to know that being a god is not physical. It's not a gender. It ain't no color. Being a god ain't light or dark. It ain't male or female. It's spirit.
Yeah.
We have to get y'all to remember the same thing that's going to remove the fears of death from you. It's going to remove all your negative thinking that's been put. And you might think that that's natural for you to think unnatural, but it's not. That was part of the programming. The devil put all them thoughts in you.
Okay.
You know, in the scriptures, the devil said, the Most High said that the devil don't let the devil remove from your clothing, don't let him remove from you, remove your shame. Look around the world. Look at big publications like National Geographics. They travel all over the world, and they see indigenous tribes in South America and Africa, and the climate is such that people are comfortable without clothes. They walk around with their genitals and their breasts out. And they know that that's a part of the human anatomy. It's a beautiful thing. And it all serves a purpose. Their breasts, just like their hands or their penis, serve a purpose. They nurse children and they use their hands to do work with, and their genitals give birth. And, they understand, like legs and feet they walk with. But the white man and white woman went over there with cameras and started taking pictures of them in National Geographics and tribes. And when they do ritual dances, jumping up and down, the white women stand at the black man's genitals, and the white man is staring at the naked black woman. And he's staring at them like that so hard, it make them feel self-conscious. Don't you know that if you in your family and you walk around the house barefoot and they keep staring at your feet, you gonna go and put on some socks because they make you feel uncomfortable. People keep staring at a certain part of your anatomy, make you feel uncomfortable. So look, it's 10:30. I know the time is moving fast, but I want to say the remedy to any pale devil that's trying to block the classes is that when I put this link out all of you gonna have the whole recorded class that you can hear from beginning to end without interruption. You know, I love the devil, but I know the devil is Satan, and I don't. Zybe, are you here? Remember, the devil ain't always light-skinned or white, and that black one is the filthiest one. Huh? Are you here, Zybe?
No, he wasn't here. I was just saying that was a message. Public service announcement, what you said.
Yeah, I love you. That's right. Black-ass devils. You know, and you got to watch them all. But I want y'all to know, I'm not going to finish this tonight or ever, because I think I gave you enough of it so you can see exactly what the white man's mind is diabolical thinking is. And he's not a man.
No, he's not.
A man don't think like that. So don't be take no pride in having them motherfuckers up in you. Don't, that ain't nothing. You saw the movie The Fly? And then when that guy went to the machine and that fly was in there and that ugly fly started getting in him, and he was saying, help me, help me, help me. It was too late. He was mixed with that. That was fucked up. But to come out to think and you be mixed with human and fly and be walking around with your ass on your shoulders like it's something great. It's crazy. It shows you in a crazy ass reality. Understand?
Sure.
But we have to understand that we're all spiritual beings. We're not physical. And you don't judge nobody by their gender or their color or their height or their nothing like that. You don't judge people physically. We are spiritual beings. We're all gods. And we're not males or females or black or white. Get that in your mind. The devil created those differences in your mind like he created lines on a map. So when you drive from California to Las Vegas, you think you cross the state line. But if you get out the car, by the sign that says you are now entering Las Vegas, you ain't gonna see no goddamn line on the ground. The line on the map, he placed that inside your mind, nigga. So he can control you and make you think you need his permission to cross this line or to go out of the country and do this, that, and the other. He got all these things inside your mind. That shit ain't real. That's the devil putting that in your mind. Light skin and dark skin and all that. He's subjugating all of you. He's enslaving his own white people. He's the devil, and it's a control system that he's enacting. Now we need y'all to go outside as gods to perform some miracles right now. I got to start right now. Okay, I'm going to make the moon raise up in the name of the Messiah. Who's outside to bear witness?
I am. I can't go.
Okay. When do you see the moon? Can you see the moon?
Yeah.
What is it? I'm going to raise the moon up. Raise up in the name of Amun-Rayay. What is it doing?
It's going up.
Well, you got to say that. Now move to the left in the name of the Messiah.
It's moving left.
That's right. Now move to the right.
Moving hard left.
That's right. I love you.
Yeah. It's like it's a face. I can see two eyes and a mouth, like somebody facing the moon too.
Now I'm gonna make it go in a circle clockwise. See, what y'all have to understand, it wasn't that long ago that slavery was implemented. Black people ain't been free to vote, and they taking that right from you right now. And they're arresting black people. ICE is going to city to city, and they starting to arrest black people. Listen to me. I told you a long time ago it was after y'all in the beginning, FEMA. They always have been after the real race, the original people, the ones with God in them. The devil has always been at war with God and his angels. You understand? And the only salvation you got is to join the army of the Most High. Now, who else out there sees something they want to move?
There's a moon here.
I love you. All right? We're going to raise that moon up. And I'll make it brighter while it's going up.
Oh, it's bright already.
Yes.
Can you make it any brighter?
Come in. Yeah, I can make it brighter as I bring it in a circle. Clockwise. And I can put your face in it.
I see a face, but it's not mine.
Look closer.
Moving, brother. I'm moving.
I love you.
There's plenty of stars in the sky tonight.
Huh?
There's plenty of stars in the sky.
Okay, I'll move all the stars. I'll move all the stars in the sky at once. All the stars move to the left in the name of the Messiah. Now, all the stars,
moving.
I love you.
It's
All the
moving,
stars, all the stars, raise up. Raise up in the name of Amun-Rayay.
Raising up.
I love you. Now, all creation move to the right in the name of the Messiah. Now, I want y'all to understand something before I go. Understand that the devil has been running this planet for 6,000 years. And I'm not just talking about no white man. I'm talking about actual reptilians, draconians. Are you here, Har, in Chicago?
Yes.
Okay. Actual reptilian draconians have been running this world, right? And they're at war with the Most High and His angels. They're at war with you, and they know their time is up, and everything they did or thought evil is coming back to get them. They know that. They know that they got a lot of hell to face, and they fighting and scared and doing everything in their power. They're going crazy because they know their time is up. But I love you all, and I was sent here to gather you all and wake you up. Wake up and watch that black-ass devil. Nietzsche Ferti, Amun-Rayay, Asa, servant to the 144,000.